Hi guys, this is me, Zena Arinzi, and I'm not talking about Walk to Fit 2019 yet. That might be later on in the evening because today is day 35. Was it day 35? No, it's day 36. I don't know. I need to check. I can't remember. I'm so good at this, aren't I? Anyway, the reason why I'm on here quickly is yesterday evening I did promise that I was going to share a little bit about my life, away from the smiles, because most of you see me with my big smile, saying hello and all that. I'm always happy. Hello, Jennifer. How are you? Always happy. And, I just want people to understand. And also I know that there are people that maybe you don't have my kind of personality and you're not always happy. And don't be mistaken, I'm not always happy, but it looks like that, especially on social media. Social media is very, very deceptive. It makes everyone look either fantastic or not fantastic, and all that. Don't believe the hype. But I thought, because of the kind of work that I do, and because obviously my forthcoming trip to Expedition Challenge to Malawi, I thought it was really important to explain a little bit more about who I am, the core of me and why I do what I do. And for those of you that want to donate, that might help you understand a bit more about my why. But yesterday evening, my Walk to Fit 2019, day 35, in the night, I said I was going to speak about, hi, honey. Good. I hope you're enjoying your bank holiday, Jenny. I did say that I wanted to kind of, banish the myth that I'm always happy or I'm always smiling. I mean, I do like smiling. I do like being happy. That is my default position. But it's not always like that. And it wasn't always like that for a while. I talked about hopelessness. I talked about the realization that I was feeling hopeless. And then I talked about the action steps, emergence, the action steps that I took to be where I am today. And for all of us, don't get it twisted. We all are a work in progress. Some people don't like to share their vulnerability and they like to say they're all there. I'm all there mentally, but they say that, everything's all fantastic. And I'm exceptionally grateful because things are pretty great, but they can be exceptionally better. But I know that I'm in a super better position than lots of people around the world, here in the UK, that have gone through what I've gone through, and in other places around the world where they're going through what I went through 100 times worse. So I thought I'll use this opportunity just to share a little bit for the next 3 days, for maybe about 10 minutes, not longer than that, to share a little bit about my story a bit, and why I do what I do and why I'm going to Malawi. So today, I did a prequel yesterday, and today is all about hopelessness. Now, what I'm going to do is, I think, to give it some context and to ensure that I don't kind of waffle, I'm going to read some little bits from my book. For some of you have it, some of you don't. It's called, I've got it right in front of me so you can see it. It's called Reinvent You, and it's probably going to be back to front because I'm showing you this, but it's called Reinvent You, bestseller, massive book. It's a guidebook. Reinvent You: How to Move from We to Me After Divorce. And a lot of it is based on my experience. A lot of it is based on the training I've had, the coursework I've done, the coaching and stuff, and lots of research. And it's a fantastic book. But what I did at the beginning of the book is share a little bit about me in the prologue. And lots of people thought, oh, wow, that book's going to be all about all the terrible things that she went through. No, it's not. It's more about how to re-emerge, how to reinvent yourself. And I'm known as the reinvention queen. I help people to reinvent themselves, whether it's divorce or abuse, or whether it's just with regards to your career. Oh, hello, Bona. How are you? Whether it's about your career or, or whether it's, financial goals, whatever it is, I help you to reinvent yourself. But close to my heart are abuse victims and women and children and families, because, that's where I came out from. Hello, Yomi. That's where I came out from. So let me read a little bit for you so that you understand why I'm sharing about hopelessness, realization, and re-emergence in terms of the action steps I've taken to be where I am today. Now, day one. A fool at 40 is a fool forever. Now, those are the words that came out like a hot slap to me on my 40th birthday. In fact, a hot slap 10 times worse than that. And I can still hear my husband's voice even now. I've healed, I've moved on, but every now and again when I remember, when I go for people's birthday parties, especially, milestone birthdays like 40, 30, I don't get invited to too many 30s unless they're my nieces or nephews or relatives, but 40s and 50s and the 60s, dare I say, when I go to those kind of milestone birthdays, I always remember this thing. So I was talking about memories yesterday, and I said it's really important to create good memories. Even when you do have bad memories, try to use that, like the Bible says, for those of you that are Christians, what the enemy meant for bad, turn it around for good. God turned it around for good. So in my particular situation, hello, Pastor Shola. In my particular situation, I'm exceptionally blessed because God was able to use my mess and he turned it around into a message and for good, where I go around speaking to people within the body of Christ. And in the secular world, I'm invited all over the world to speak on various subjects, which is not just divorce, which is amazing. And who would have thought? But that's the way that God does his stuff. But there was a time where I was hopeless and I was in it was just quite dire. So I'll read this for you. I'll read from my book. Sitting in the traffic with hot tears streaming down my face, it took me a while to realize that the lights had changed to green and it was time to move. Amidst the loud horns beeping with impatience behind me as I continuously replayed this morning's events over and over again in my mind, the pain of the memory was almost enough to finally tip me over the edge. A fool at 40 is a fool forever. So definitely I can't lie anymore and say that I'm 40 years old. I'm nowhere near 40. But that was what my husband had yelled at me on my 40th birthday. Now I leave that. So I still remember that now, and so many things happened after that. I mean, that was the saddest day. And even till today, so many different things have happened. I've lost my dad. I've lost people close to me. I've lost, 2 senior pastors in my local church. And that's really, really sad and really shook me. But for me, the saddest day in my life has to be my 40th birthday. Nothing's topped that. And, on that day, I was expecting maybe a surprise party. I go to lots of surprise parties now. I was expecting maybe a ribbon-tied new car so that I could change my banger, or maybe a cruise, or even a birthday bottle of perfume, or maybe just the two of us romantic meal. There was none of that. And those were the kind of things that I was expecting. There was none of that. All I could remember was hopelessness, despair, rejection, and the final realization that moi, as wonderful as I am, was unloved. I felt trapped in a life that I didn't want, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know who to turn to. I was lost. I was lost in myself. I did my best, like I always do. I haven't changed. I did my best to keep up appearances, and I remained in denial that my marriage was abusive. And it was over. I still stayed in the marriage. He moved out in 2005. And the divorce was finalized, I think, in 2010, when I became an official single mom. Now, I was still in despair in 2010. I still felt hopeless in 2010. And for those of you that know me, I was still smiling, but I still felt as if I was drowning. I was forever crying. I was feeling completely alone. And I've been a Christian for a long time. So it's not, it's not as if I didn't feel that God had failed me or anything, but I just felt, I was lying awake at night, thinking about, my finances, worrying about how I was going to raise the children, my lovely girls, wondering how I was going to heat my home, how I was going to pay bills, how I was going to keep my job, and how I was going to create a better future. Now, there are many of you right now that can identify with this even as I speak. Many people here in the UK, in America, in Germany, in, Western Europe, Eastern Europe, many people in Latin America, in the Caribbean, and many people in Asia and in Africa can identify with this right now, where you feel hopeless, useless, pointless, and you don't know where to turn. That was me. And I'm quite fortunate because I had lots of support, had lots of friends that all I needed to do was to ask and they would be there, but I didn't let anyone in. I was happy to sort of be where I was, kind of, keeping up appearances and smiling and doing what I did. So I know firsthand what it means to feel hopeless, what it means to feel despair, to feel overwhelmed, to feel the shame, the pain, the stigma of not only being an abused wife, but being a divorced single mum. And it's for this reason that I want to use my own personal experience, my training, the courses I've done, my legal background, my certified coaching, my mentors, all the different things that I've done, even as an IT project manager, consultant, and a businesswoman, all the things that I've done to be able to help women in Malawi who are in similar situations like I was years ago, but are in much, much, much worse environments. Now, and I want you to help me, to help these amazing women to overcome the hopelessness of rape, of sex abuse, of domestic violence, of divorce, of single parenthood. These are women that some of them live on £1 a month, an equivalent of £1 a month or £1 a week. There's no benefits. There's no recourse to public funds. Some of them live in one room or half a room with about, 8 children. Some were childhood rape victims. And so it's nothing like what I've ever gone through. And as much as I've talked about hopelessness, as far as I'm concerned, I was living in paradise. But there are people that are living even much worse than I can even imagine. And I want to be able to have an opportunity to share hope, collaborate as well and learn about their experiences so that I can even be a better coach and a better person myself. Now, I'll read something else. I think I left a page out. Yes. Now, in this book, I'm talking about Reinvent You, how to move from we to me after divorce. I don't know why I keep doing this. I don't have long hair anymore, but I keep doing this. I did the beginning of the book like a journal. So I've got my personal journal entries. So even if you don't want anything, you want to just read what I was thinking about at the time, get the book. You can inbox me. I'll send you a copy. Give me your address and I'll sign it and send you a copy and send you some other resources as well. Now, I'll read from page 37. This was on the 28th of March, 2006. Dear Journey, that's what I call my journal. I still keep a journal now. Dear Journey, I feel so lost, confused, unsure, disoriented, perplexed, and downright bewildered and alone. How can this happen to me? How can this happen to us? Where is God? I feel as if I've failed him. I'm such a failure. God, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. How can I sort this out? These are the kind of things what was going through my mind. What will happen to the girls? And, so forth and so forth. I don't want to go too much because you need to get the book so you can read more about it, but also learn the strategies that will help you or someone that get out of feelings of helplessness, hopelessness. And I'm going to read something as far back as 2011. So that's just, around the corner. This does take ages to get over. On the 18th of September, 2011, in my journal, I wrote, I can't sleep. Dear Journey, sometimes I get so overwhelmed. I lie awake at night because I just can't sleep. Yet I'm so tired and so restless, have aches and pains all over. Now I have aches and pains all over because I'm, in my 50s and I go jogging. But then it was more kind of depression. I feel so helpless and always engulfed in a sea of mental confusion and intermittent flashbacks. Now, this is me here in England. Can you imagine how much worse it will be for someone else in another country, in a developing world where you're not allowed to show your emotions in this way, we're taught to suck it up. Now, my parents are from Nigeria, so I know about Nigeria a lot. And even in my own community, we're taught to suck things up. You don't talk about it. You don't bring shame to the family. How dare you talk about it? No, 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 don't talk about it. So you're left to kind of wallow in the feelings that you have. And many women, even here in the UK, white, pink, black, yellow, doesn't matter where you're from, many women are in mental homes as we speak, here in the UK, in the Western world, because they had nowhere to turn to, because of the feelings of overwhelm, depression, helplessness, hopelessness, feeling irrelevant because their marriage had broken down or because they were abused, especially when people ask questions like, so what did you do? Oh, I know him or I know her. They would not do that. What did you do to deserve? So ask, very unhelpful questions. And so lots of women go through the feelings of blame that maybe, it was my fault if I was a better wife, a better partner. For those that are not married, if I didn't withhold sex, I don't know what it is, but women go through all sorts of things where we take on, blame because society tells us that if your relationship breaks up, and that's whether you're married or not, if your relationship breaks up, there's something you could have done better. I was watching something with my daughter, my oldest daughter, on Netflix. It's a Chinese film about young in high school. It's fantastic. And there was, a part where someone had taken a picture of this young 19-year-old in a hotel room, and she wasn't doing anything. And, she'd kind of, I can't remember the story, whether she was sick or something. So a good friend of hers took her, it was far away from home, took her to a hotel room, paid the bill, and then sent a picture to the girl's friend to say, well, this is the picture. Once you get it, let me know. What did the girl do? The girl took the picture and she shared it all over her high school. And so people assumed, they started slut slave. Is that what the word they call it? Slut shaming the girl. That's a word that I'm not used to, but because I've got young daughters, I kind of know their lingo. Slut shaming, basically making the girl feel as if she'd done something wrong because she was in a hotel. And that's what we do throughout society, wherever, you're from. And I'm very thankful for, people like the United Nations, women, when we're talking about, Press for Progress, that's what we're doing this year, and how we should make sure that no one's left behind, and how we should do all that we can to lift up women anywhere, any way possible, how we should have equal pay, and how the fact that you find out that you might be doing the same job with someone here in the Western world, same job, same responsibilities, and he might be earning more than you. So it's all about ensuring that there's gender parity and gender equality across whatever we do, across nations, across religious divides, across cultural divides. And that's why I'm going to Malawi. So I've spoken about how I felt so hopeless. I couldn't sleep at night. I was ashamed. I didn't want to be a disgrace to my daughters and all that. And I know that people are feeling like this right now as I speak. And that's one of my whys, to be able to teach people, show people, share, care, collaborate with women who have gone through stuff that I've gone through, but at a much, much deeper level. And also to speak to the professionals that help to work with these women, to share my learning, share my resources, and learn from them too. So anyway, that's enough for now, because I need to sort of think about whether I'm going to go for a walk right now. I know some of you might be at the carnival. If you're watching this, you're probably not at the carnival. But if you are at the carnival, do stay safe. If your children are at the carnival, mine are at the carnival. Well, one of mine is at the carnival. Let's pray that they come back safely, and I know they will. The last time I went to the carnival, my oldest daughter, I was carrying her in a baby carrier, and I'll look for the picture and I'll share that on Facebook. So that's the last time I went. That would have been probably 1999 or 2000, maybe 1999 or 2000, thereabouts. So I'm wearing yellow because it's carnival day, and we've had a lovely weather here in the UK. Well, not lovely, but better than yesterday. At least it's not raining. The weather's held out, so that's good. But just to kind of wrap up, today I've spoken about hopelessness and how hopeless I felt. And, don't be mistaken by all the smiles, the toothy smiles, all 16 teeth that I have. I did go through feelings of feeling unworthy, feeling hopeless, helpless, feeling like a disgrace, feeling depressed, feeling suicidal. I had all those feelings, and I can take off the glasses now or I can't see you. And all those feelings. And that's why I do what I do. Now, tomorrow, I'm going to be sharing around this time, about how I felt hopeless. And I've talked about that, but what I did. So the exact steps that I took, because I'm sure it's going to help someone, even on the replay, the exact steps that I took to overcome the feelings of hopelessness, and how I was able to start over and emerge vivacious and victorious and live a life of hope that I live right now. So tune in tomorrow, Facebook Live, about 4 p.m. thereabout, and I'll share 5 key steps that you can take once you're able to realize that there must be more to your life than where you are right now. So we're going to talk about realization tomorrow and the kind of steps that I took to help me go to the next level. And I'll share that with you. Thank you for listening. Before I forget, you might remember on Friday, I shared that I had 10 spots available for complimentary reinvention calls, coaching calls, 40 minutes, completely free, nothing to pay, no sales talk. I had 10 spots. I'm going to be doing those calls tomorrow, Wednesday and Thursday, I think between 10 and 2. And I did say, if you're interested, inbox me, your name, just say yes, reinvention. And I'll send you a link to my diary. And if you want to know more about that, if you go to Facebook Lives back to the one on Friday, the details are there. Yesterday I had 3 spots, 4 spots left. And I think today there might still be 4 spots left. I haven't checked my email. 4 spots or 3 spots left, but try and snap it up or share with someone. Because you don't want to you want to make sure that you get all the support that you can and that you need, the kind of support that I didn't have, but I'm, available to give you that, but only between a particular window. Anyway, enough from me. Hope this has been useful. Hope this has shed a bit more light on me, that I'm not always smiley, or I am always smiley now, but it wasn't always like that. Thank you so much for listening. God bless. And I'll speak to you so much later when I'm doing my Walk to Fit walk around. I'll try and see if I can get out in the next hour or so I can go up the hill before it gets dark or before it starts raining. But until next time, till tomorrow, take care. God bless. Thanks for listening.